Hello and welcome to
Thehayteamtv.
So what arrived this morning, Ad?
Brake pads.
So you're going to be
Fitting brake pads.
and having fun doing.
Brake pads.
He loves brake pads.
No, I don't.
You do.
I don't.
He loves having a job.
I don't.
He does.
Really don't.
So you guys are lucky today. Ad and I are in sheds which are right beside each other. So basically you guys got us both at the same time. Doesn't always happen like that. I know some of you it annoys you that sometimes there's only one of us in the video. Well, we can't always be in the same place or doing the same job at the same time. Around here it just doesn't work like that. Anyway, I'm going to carry on with bathing or stacking bales. But if you would like one of these 6 orange Thehayteam beanies or the black hoodie, military green t-shirt, black t-shirt, and even the Thehayteam orange t-shirt, you can get them in our merch drop at the moment, which you've got to be ordered by Sunday. This Sunday coming. Don't worry, this is coming up, or you're going to see this very, very soon. This Sunday coming, and we'll get them ordered and to you before Christmas, so you can be Thehayteamed up for today, even if it covers your eyes. Not cover your eyes, dangerous, can't see what you're doing. Anyway, I'll leave that up to you guys. If you want that sort of thing, just send us a message on Instagram or Facebook and we will sort that out. These things aren't yet on eBay in our little store. They will be eventually, but for Christmas, this is the only way we can do it. So, if you want some, just go or just message us on Instagram and Facebook and we will sort it out. Okay, so I've swapped over with Charlie. Charlie is downloading bales. You'll see that in a minute. I am currently going to stack bales for part of today. And in a minute, we're going to go over and see how Adam's getting on. But first, I'm going to leave you on a bit of a time lapse. Meanwhile,
Right, so I'm all ready to go. Truck is in the barn. Got all my tools on the side there, the bale. So now we're going to jack it up, take the wheel off and get started. It is quite cold down here today. I've really got no enthusiasm to do this job, but hey, needs must. So, like I said, we're going to jack her up. Before we jack her up, always make sure that we use an axle stand, a block of wood, something substantial to hold the weight of the vehicle. I have seen a car come down on someone without using an axle stand, and it's not pretty. So safety first, always. It is paramount that you put an axle stand or something underneath the vehicle when you're working on it, because on anything could just give out. It's just, and it takes a second for it to go wrong, like we all know. So safety first, guys. Right, let's go. So as you can see, wheel is off, so the caliper is exposed. So pretty simple job. One bolt down here, one holding bolt. So we just clamp that holding bolt, undo the caliper bolt. But first of all, we'll prise back. I like to prise back the pistons. First job, get it all loose. And it just makes it easier. You haven't got a caliper in your hand with all the weight and all that. I just prise them back now as it's all bolted together. So that's quite simple. And then we'll take them out and then we'll go from there. Right, so let's crack on. Right, so that's the brake pads out. Just show you the brake pads, what we're dealing with at the moment. So as you can see, we have got our money's worth out of these. They are worn right down. Literally no plate friction on there at all. So we've scarred the inner disc a little bit, but really not worried about that. By the time we put the new pads on, a few miles, that'll all just wear the pads in like that anyway. There's not a big lip on there. I mean, for me to be changing those discs, I'll be looking for a big lip. They're flush. There's plenty of meat left on those discs. No need to, I just don't see the point in more expense, to be honest with you, when it will be all right. So just going back to the caliper, you can see what I did there on the time lapse. So I put a screwdriver in, lever those pistons right back. They're a double piston, which makes it a little bit harder as well. So that's why I leave it all bolted on and just lever it back with a screwdriver. You might need a hammer to start to begin with, depending how worn your brake pads are. So I'll just lever them back, lever them right back as far as they can go. Because they're a double piston, sometimes you'll get one going in more so than the other. So you might just have to finish off with some big grips. Right, so let's go to the pads. Right, so the pads are in. Like I said, I do think anyone can do this job correctly and safely. My only advice I would say is to make sure these are all clean. Just give them a scrape out with a screwdriver. You can put copper grease on, but I don't. To be quite honest, I really don't use it. Another thing to check is your sliders. Make sure they go in and out nice and free, and the bottom one as well. That all makes a difference into you braking. And make sure obviously these are all free, so these have all been pushed back, the pistons have all been pushed back now, so now the caliper will go on nice and freely, and we can do that up and we can move on to the next side. Second side now, and again will be the exact same process of what we did on the other side. So what I will say is though, when you do a side at a time like I'm doing, when you fitted one set of brake pads, just when you go in and straighten your steering up to put the wheel on, just pump out your foot brake. It just makes it easier. You don't have fluid dripping all over the floor and all that when you pump both when you pull back push back, should I say, both calipers, because what you find is obviously the fluid will go to the top and it comes at the top of the reservoir, and then you just get brake fluid all over the floor and all over your engine bay when there's no point. So what I just do, when I do one side, just hop in the truck and pump out the foot brake, and so that's all pumped out. So then we concentrate on this side and we do the same again. Right, so I've got to crack on because we've got a driver coming in who needs to use the truck and the trailer. I was struggling a little bit, and what was happening was the pistons were bouncing back, so you would clamp them back, but they were coming forward again. Now what I do for that is just undo the brake nipple or the bleed nipple and just loosen it off, and what you'll find is just clamp it back like you usually do, and the excess fluid will come out. Now the reason for that is that the hose, when the caliper's up in the air, could be slightly crimped, so it's not allowing enough fluid back to the reservoir, or the reservoir could be full and the seal's that good on the reservoir that it's not forcing it out over the top of the cap. So it could be either of them, but either way, easiest thing to do is just crack off that bleed nipple, let the excess fluid come out when you're putting back, just tighten it back up, and you shouldn't have to bleed the brakes because you've just forced it all out anyway. But just bear in mind in that, because when we go on road test in a minute, first thing we'll do is we'll pump out the brakes, and the brakes will feel spongy as hell because the brake discs are quite scarred. So it's going to take a few miles for them to bed in anyway, but you shouldn't bleed them anyway. But for peace of mind, if you did want to bleed them beforehand, before you go on your road test, nothing wrong with that. If just double checking everything. But for me, there's no air in there. I forced it all out. We'll go to pump it out in a minute. And well, Bob's your uncle, and we're going to road test, do a bit of fierce braking to really bed him in, and well, as easy as that. I do think changing brake pads like this, I do think any of you can do it if you didn't know already. I'm not here to tell you to suck eggs or anything like that. This is how I've always done it. I've been doing this for years and years, so I sort of know what I'm doing. Well, I like to think I know what I'm doing, but you can all do it to save a bit of money. Don't get me wrong, you can't do everything. I'm trained in this and I can't do everything, but it's simple maintenance that can be done on farm. That's what I'm trying to get across anyway. Right, so we'll do this up, put the wheel on, and then we'll take her out for a spin.
And so, done?
Yep.
God, you're faster than an F1 mechanic.
I should have been really. I think I'm wasted as a farmer really.
You wasted?
Lewis Hamilton, I think he'll appreciate me, mate.
Yeah?
Change a bit of brake pads on the side of the racetrack.
You wouldn't take his attitude either, would you?
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't take Lewis Hamilton's attitude. No.
I think me and Lewis would get on.
No. He's too much a drama queen for you, isn't he?
Way too much drama. Can't be
Too much
talking
of a drama
with
queen
that.
for
Too
him.
much of a diva.
Yeah, can't be dealing with that. So all sorted?
All done.
Stops now?
Got road test to do. I'm hoping that we are going to stop.
Well, you have the sponginess on new brakes, but
Yeah, I'll explain that. Right.
you explained that. Anyway, so you're going off a road test,
Yep.
then we're going to have a cup of tea.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Is that the best time of your day?
That's why I like this guy. Always comes when it's cup of tea time. Not when I need his help. He does.
We're going to fall out today, let me guess.
No,
No, we're not going to fall out today?
I've already fallen out.
When did we fall out?
Woke up and didn't like it.
Oh, see, this is every day it's like this. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. But at least it keeps it interesting. Anyway, we're going to have a cup of tea after he's done road test. But until next time, you can find us on
Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
If you haven't yet done so, please hit that subscribe, give us a thumbs up. You can always get merch on
eBay.
And currently at the moment we are doing a merch drop, which I've already done earlier on in the video, which just get hold of us on Facebook or Instagram and we'll sort it out before Christmas. Orders must be in by Sunday.
Sunday the 13th of December, remember that date.
That's the Sunday coming.
Yes.
And also there's a Sunday special, so watch out for
that
that.
one.
Well, until next time, see you in the next one.
Cheers.